Hi, I'm Alan, and I'm driven to know. Sunday, we started off by talking about the books behind me in answer to a friend of the channel's question. Today, I want to continue that, but before I continue to talk about the books and other things that are located behind me, I wanted to take a moment to clarify something I said about evolution. I stated that I believe in evolution and that I use that word believe several times. Actually, that's rather inaccurate. A better way to describe it would be I accept, based on the science and on the evidence presented and its explanatory power, that evolution, the neo-Darwinian consensus, is the correct way to view the origin and the progress of life here on Earth. And I also understand that evolution is not about creating the best and most perfect organism, but rather an organism that can adapt itself to its environmental circumstances most effectively, and that oftentimes evolution will reuse different aspects of a creature's biology in new and interesting ways to make another creature that is more adaptable and resilient in the environment in which it lives. And it takes place over a long span of time. It's not something that could happen in like 6,000 years. I wanted to clarify that because I thought that the way I phrased it was not entirely appropriate or indicative of what I really thought about evolution. I don't believe in evolution. I accept it, and I think that it is true based on empirical and scientific evidence as well as objective reality. Now I want to spend some time talking about not just the books behind me, but also some of the little gewgaws and decorations I have up on top of the bookcase behind me. Before we begin that, I also wanted to point out something else that I had forgotten to address. The previous video that I shot, I used a different camera than the one I usually use, which is the one on my phone, and I did not like the way that turned out. It looked weird. It reversed the image where I had the bookshelf on this side of the room and the desk was over here, and it was just strange. I didn't think the image was all that good. So I wanted to address that as well, and that I am not going to shoot any more video with that particular device again. I'm going to use my phone until I acquire an actual camera at some point, if ever. But I've been very pleased with how my phone works as a camera. It does a very good job of delivering a high quality product at the end. Last time I talked about these books and the things they meant to me, which is why I position them behind myself when I am shooting video. On this second shelf down here, there are a large variety of Bibles and Bible-related items. These are here because I spent most of my adult life studying the Bibles, and I have a lot of Bibles from my study of the Scriptures. And then, up here on top, which sometimes are visible and sometimes are not, are a collection of little figurines and toys, some of which I bought for myself, some of which I bought for Elisa. The two TIE fighters, I got those for Elite. Well, one of them I got for myself. I take that back. I got the TIE fighter, the two X-Wing fighters, and the Millennium Falcon for Elisa. These vehicles from Lost in Space, which I watched as a child in its original manifestation before it became syndicated. I bought those for myself because, in spite of some of the silliness of Lost in Space, I always enjoyed it. I thought it was an interesting show. Then over here, we have some Roman soldiers, because I've always been interested in history, and the history of Rome and its parallels to the United States, as well as their military structure, has been something I've always been interested in. And so when I found those at Big Lots, about 16 years ago, I bought them. And then we have a blimp back here because I've been interested in dirigibles and airships. And we have this Christmas tree, this made out of wire. This was actually something that was in my mother's room at the nursing home that I had gotten for her when she was there. And I kept it, and I put it up this year for Christmas. And here is a picture of my mother back in the late 80s. There's a picture behind her of my great-grandfather Crawford, whose house we lived in from 1996 to 2012. Here's my Carl Jung action figure. Yes, I know, a Carl Jung action figure. And then we have 3 sharks, 1, 2, 3, plus Eeyore, who's always been my favorite character from the Winnie the Pooh, is Eeyore, because I've always kind of felt simpatico with Eeyore. Then over here we have Iron Man. I just like Iron Man. He's a cool comic book character, and he's also one of the first comic books I read when I was a kid. It was my 2 favorites from when I was a kid were Iron Man and Thor. I don't have a Thor figure, but I'll probably get one of these days. But Iron Man, I like Iron Man. Here we have the backlit chicken. This is a figurine I took on vacation, the only vacation I've really ever had, in 1999. And he's called the backlit chicken because I had him set up on top of the rear view mirror, tucked up there, because he's made out of foam rubber and he just fit right up there very nicely. He spent a lot of time up there even after that, but now he has retired as the backlit chicken. Then up here we have a globe. Globemaster 12-inch diameter globe. I'm fascinated with maps. I don't have any maps hanging up here, but I have always been fascinated with maps. And up here we have 2 race cars. Those were Pinewood Derby cars made way back when I was 6 or 7 years old by my dad. And the smoother one on the right actually won the Pinewood Derby the one time I ran it. Then back here are some books that sort of define who I am. There's a Dictionary of Philosophy because I'm interested in philosophy. The new college edition of the American Heritage Dictionary from 1978. I still keep it on my desk because it is a prescriptive dictionary, not merely descriptive. Then another book, the American Political Dictionary, which is kind of out of date at this point, but it still has a lot of definitions that are useful. Then we have the Democracy Reader and the American Reader, both edited by Diane Radovich. And then some other books about America. We have a couple books about the press. And then there's some Bible books back here. But these are all things that have influenced who I am as a person. They're all part of my personality. Well, I believe that about covers the items behind me for the interested viewers that have asked about what they are and what they mean. I hope you found this video interesting, the explanation that I gave for them. If so, I could use some help with my finances, because that's part of the reason why I make these videos. Not only to share information and talk about things that I'm interested in, but also to make a living. So I have a PayPal link below this video that you can send money through. There's also a fundraiser that's going to end on the 18th of this month over on Facebook. It's called Alan's Business Fundraiser. So if you would like to donate through that, please feel free to do so. Well, once again, thank you for watching. I'm Alan, and I'm driven to know, and you be too.